Chapter 2688. Monarch Jin's appearance surprised Su Zimo. When did you find out? Su Zimo raised his eyebrows slightly. He thought that he had been careful enough. He didn't expect that the secret of Qinglian's true body had been exposed long ago. The sense of danger that he had felt previously was not an illusion. It should have come from the surveillance of these immortal kings. The last time I came to the Qiankuan Academy, Monarch Jin said coldly, "You burned down Juele City and killed my son. If I didn't know about Qinglian's bloodline, I wouldn't have let you live until today." Su Zimo frowned slightly. He felt that something was wrong. The patriarch of the academy had mentioned this to him before. According to Monarch Jin's intention, when he came to denounce him, the patriarch of the academy had to reveal the secret of Qinglian's bloodline to pacify Monarch Jin temporarily. However, the fewer people who knew about the secret of Qinglian's true body, the better. Su Zimo was under great pressure as he was surrounded by the immortal kings. He didn't have time to think. In the backyard of the Qiankuan Palace, another old man walked over. He was wearing the Taoist robe of the academy and had a strong aura. He was also an immortal king. The 8th elder of the academy? Su Zimo narrowed his eyes and asked softly, "That's me." The old man nodded slightly. His eyes were deep and a meaningful smile flashed across his face. Hearing this voice, Su Zimo's heart skipped a beat. When he ascended, although he hid in the prison-suppressing cauldron and didn't see who was with King Yunyu, he heard that person's voice. That voice belonged to the 8th elder of the academy. The 8th elder of the academy was in charge of all the divine weapons of the academy. The horsetail whisk that was fed to the prison-suppressing cauldron was thrown out by the 8th elder of the academy. Moreover, the person who asked Mo Qing to go to the Coiling Dragon Mountain Range during the Immortal Sect selection was the 8th elder of the academy. Everything seemed to have an explanation, and everything seemed to make sense. However, the whole thing seemed to be shrouded in a layer of fog. How lively! A burst of laughter rang out. An immortal king arrived and entered the Qiankuan Palace. That celestial king had shown up at the Godly Clouds meeting and the Continent of the Nine Clouds meeting. He was Great Imperial Emperor Godly Cloud's first disciple, Celestial King Azure's son. So many people? Secluded Cloud King frowned. There was only one piece of Qinglian's flesh. The more people there were, the less benefits they would get. The patriarch of the academy looked calm, as if he was not surprised by the arrival of these people. The Flaming Sun Immortal King cupped his hands slightly and looked at the Qinglian Immortal King with a smile. "Fellow Taoist Qingyang, how did you know that this child has Qinglian's bloodline?" At the mention of this, Immortal King Green Sun was quite proud, and he said proudly, "In the divine firmament celestial realm, as long as I want to, no secret can escape my eyes." At the divine firmament immortal meeting, Yuehua teamed up with the Zither Immortal and the others to kill this kid. The fact that the Academy Patriarch personally sent a message proves that this kid is special. At that time, I saw the problem, but I didn't point it out. Amazing! The Flaming Sun Immortal King praised. The Immortal Kings exchanged a few pleasantries and chatted casually with relaxed expressions. In the eyes of the Immortal Kings, the current Su Zimo was already a fish on the chopping block, ready to be slaughtered at any time. It was just a matter of when they would share the food. Su Zimo looked around. The patriarch of the academy, Secluded Cloud King, the Flaming Sun Immortal King, King Jin, the Azure Sun Immortal King, and the 8th elder of the academy. There were a total of 6 immortal kings present. Moreover, these immortal kings were all giants who dominated a region. Almost all of them had cultivated to the peak of the Grotto Heaven realm. In front of these experts, he did not have any chance of survival. He did not even have the chance to escape. However, Su Zimo was still calm, terrifyingly calm. "Su Zimo, you can't beat me in the end. Today is the day you die." The Moonlight Sword Immortal looked at Su Zimo, clenched her fists, and laughed. However, due to the constant pain coming from his body, his smile seemed a little sinister. Su Zimo smiled coldly, his eyes full of pity. "Even if you are alive, you are just a dog raised by someone else." Zimo. The patriarch of the academy sighed softly and said, I originally prepared a great opportunity for you, a bright path, but you chose the path of death. I am really disappointed. Since you chose the path of death, you won't even have the chance to reincarnate. Su Zimo's expression was mocking, not afraid at all. The patriarch of the academy said, "Do you think that it will be over after you die? You betrayed your master and ancestors, which is a disgraceful act. I will also ruin your reputation and make you bear the crime of being a traitor forever. You will be cursed by future generations for generations to come." Not only did he want you to die, but he also wanted you to bear endless infamy forever. What top of the earth roll? What top of the heaven roll? Once you bear the crime of betraying your master and ancestors, all these glory will be dim and you will only be cursed by countless people. This was what it meant to be ruthless, leaving no room for negotiation. King Jin's methods back then were already cruel and vicious, but he only nailed the Thunder Emperor Feng Kentian to the stone pillar for hundreds of thousands of years. Compared to the Patriarch of the Academy, King Jin's methods were a little weaker. The Patriarch of the Academy not only wanted Su Zimo to die, he also wanted to nail his name on the pillar of shame forever, never to be able to rise again. How many people in the world would know the ins and outs of this matter? Once the Patriarch of the Academy, King Yunyu, Immortal King Qingyang, and King Jin, these powerful experts of a region declared that Su Zimo betrayed his master and ancestors and was a disgraceful act, countless cultivators would crazily curse him. At that time, Su Zimo would die and there would be no proof. Just like the Patriarch of the Academy said, "I will kill whoever doesn't listen to me, and I will also ruin your reputation." Good method. Su Zimo clapped his hands and exclaimed in admiration. King Yunyu frowned slightly and looked at the Patriarch of the Academy. He urged, "It's about time, I think we can start the pill refining. Throw the fresh flesh of Qinglian directly into the pill refining furnace. It can perfectly seal the bloodline of Qinglian, and the immortal pill will definitely be produced. I want a piece of Qinglian leaf." King Yenyang said in a low voice. Immortal King Qingyang said, "I want half of the Qinglian seed." The few Immortal King experts had already started to discuss how to divide Su Zimo. "You all have a good plan." Su Zimo smiled and suddenly said, "It's a pity that you all are still one step behind in this game of chess." The Patriarch of the Academy seemed to have sensed something. His expression changed, and he suddenly attacked, slamming down on Su Zimo's head. Su Zimo just stood there, motionless and did not dodge. With his strength, facing the attack of an Immortal King expert, he could not dodge at all. Su Zimo looked at the Patriarch of the Academy with a mocking expression. The Patriarch of the Academy's palm directly landed on Su Zimo's head. A huge and terrifying force descended, and Su Zimo's figure suddenly collapsed, turning into streams of green air and gradually dissipating. Chapter 2689. Su Zimo's physical body disappeared before everyone's eyes just like that. There was no trace of blood. Everyone was stunned. Even King Yunyu, Flaming Sun Immortal King, King Jin, and the others were stunned. Disbelief flashed across their eyes. Everyone clearly saw that Su Zimo was killed by the Academy Patriarch's palm, but he disappeared before everyone's eyes just like that. A clone? Flaming Sun Immortal King frowned. How is this possible? Seeing Su Zimo escape right under the noses of the Immortal Kings, the King of Underworld Clouds could not accept it and yelled out. "It is indeed a clone." The Academy Patriarch said in a deep voice and opened his palm. There was a green jade scroll lying in the Academy Patriarch's palm. Jade Purity Jade Scroll, Primeval Body? King Qingyang blurted out. The Academy Patriarch's face was ugly. He said in a deep voice, "That's right. This is not his real body. It is the primeval body that he condensed using the Jade Purity Jade Scroll." Impossible. King Jin still could not accept this. He said coldly, "This kid's cultivation is only at the perfected immortal realm. Even if he condensed the primeval body with the help of the Jade Purity Jade Scroll, it is impossible for him to hide from my senses." Flaming Sun Immortal King and Green Sun Immortal King both nodded. As Immortal Kings, they had sharp eyes. If Su Zimo was just a clone, they would definitely be able to see through it. Under the watchful eyes of 6 immortal kings, how could he deceive them with just a clone? The Academy Patriarch's face was gloomy and he did not say a word. The Moonlight Sword Immortal was stunned on the spot. He could not accept this for a moment. Initially, he was still looking forward to witnessing the scene of Su Zimo's death. To think that Su Zimo would disappear right in front of the 6 immortal kings just like that. He had fooled the 6 immortal kings with just a clone. Where is he? King Yunyu looked at the Academy Patriarch anxiously and said coldly, "He is only at the perfected immortal realm. He can't have run far." "Everyone, please calm down. I'm in the middle of calculating," the Patriarch of the Academy said in a low voice. "Even if he can hide for a while, he can't escape from my calculation." The Patriarch of the Academy waved his hands and conjured a series of mysterious spells. Many strange runes fell in front of him as he continued to deduce. It was as if a vast river of stars, a deep ocean, and a surging world of mortals flashed past his eyes. They were mysterious, distant, and unfathomable. After a while, the eyes of the Patriarch of the Academy returned to normal, and he let out a long sigh. "How is it?" Secluded Cloud King, Blazing Sun Immortal King, and the others quickly asked. The Patriarch of the Academy looked pale and said nothing. "You can't calculate it?" King Yunyu stared at the Patriarch of the Academy and asked suspiciously. The Patriarch of the Academy shook his head slowly and said, "I don't know why, but he seems to be shrouded in a layer of fog. I can't deduce anything." "I understand." At this moment, the 8th Elder of the Academy suddenly spoke and said in a low voice, "I've seen records about the creation Qinglian in an ancient book. It said that when the creation Qinglian grows to a high level, it will give birth to some treasures. One of them is a mysterious scripture. It said that this scripture might have come from the upper world. It contains all the mysteries of heaven and earth and contains the truths of the great Tao. Even the 3 major sword techniques were derived from this scripture." The Patriarch of the Academy said, "Then it makes sense. After this kid entered the true self realm and obtained the scripture, he gained some enlightenment. It's also because of the secret technique of this scripture that he can hide from our senses with a clone. It's also because of this scripture that I can't deduce his location." Damn it. King Yunyu couldn't hold it in and cursed. He had waited for so many years, but he didn't expect that Su Zimo would escape in the end and his whereabouts were still unknown. King Jin, Celestial King Qing Yang and the others were also furious. Their faces were filled with killing intent. All the Celestial Kings had gathered there. They hadn't thought that they would be fooled by a clone of a genuine celestial being. In the end, they hadn't obtained anything. The Patriarch of the Academy closed his eyes and remained silent for a while. Then he suddenly said, "There are some clues. Hurry up and tell us." King Yunyu and the others urged him. The Patriarch of the Academy said, "As far as I know, after the continent of the 9 clouds ended, he didn't return to the Academy immediately. Instead, he went to the Warring States Kingdom with Celestial King Ling Long. When he returned to the Academy, he had already broken through to the true self-realm. If I'm not mistaken, he must have broken through in the Warring States Kingdom and made Qinglian's real body reach the 12th level." King Yunyu looked glum as he asked, "So his real body might still be in the Warring States Kingdom?" "It's possible." The Patriarch of the Academy nodded and said, "Even if he's not in the Warring States Kingdom, the Warring States King and Celestial King Ling Long must know where he is." The Flaming Sun Celestial King Qing Yang and the others frowned. The Flaming Sun Celestial King frowned and said, "The Warring States Kingdom is far away in the Azure Cloud Celestial Realm. Besides, I heard that the Warring States King has recovered from his injuries and his cultivation has returned to its peak. With Celestial King Ling Long's help, I'm afraid that we won't be able to take advantage of them." "Heh." The Patriarch of the Academy smiled coldly and said, "The Warring States King might be able to fool the others, but he can't fool me. His injuries haven't healed at all. The act he put on before was just a bluff." The eyes of King Yunyu, Celestial King Qing Yang and the others lit up when they heard that. In the Warring States Kingdom, only the Warring States King was feared. If the Warring States King was injured, Celestial King Ling Long alone wouldn't be able to stop them. Celestial King Qing Yang pondered for a while and said, "After all, we're from the divine firmament celestial realm. If we attack the azure firmament celestial realm, I'm afraid the azure firmament palace will intervene. In the azure firmament celestial realm, the azure firmament palace would usually just watch from the sidelines and ignore the fights between the major forces. However, if an external force intervened in the azure firmament celestial realm's fight and wanted to eliminate the azure firmament celestial realm's strength, the azure firmament palace would not sit by and do nothing." King Jin said in a deep voice, "We're here with a good reason. We're here to punish a traitor. So what if the azure firmament palace intervenes? Would the azure firmament palace openly protect a traitor who betrayed his master and ancestors?" "Exactly," the 8th elder of the academy said. "That's the best reason. This is a rare opportunity. We can't afford to miss it." King Yunyu said coldly, "I heard that the Warring States Kingdom is already facing internal and external troubles and is on the verge of collapse. I'd like to see who dares to stop us when we're here to punish them. There's no time to lose. We'll leave now," King Jin said in a deep voice. The Patriarch of the Academy said, "Everyone, please leave first. I'll cast a spell in the Palace of Heaven and Earth and try to deduce the location of this person. If I find anything, I'll inform you immediately." King Yunyu and the others looked at each other, nodded, and turned to leave. The Patriarch of the Academy looked at their backs as they left. A strange smile flashed across his eyes. Chapter 2690. As soon as King Yunyu, King Jin, King Qingyang, and King Yenyang left the palace of Qinkuan, King Yunyu paused. "I think we should ask the Patriarch of the Academy to come with us," King Yunyu suddenly said. King Jin nodded and said, "That's right. After all, the Patriarch of the Academy should take the lead to kill the traitorous disciple of the Academy." The two celestial kings looked at each other with a tacit understanding. Seeing the two celestial kings' expressions, King Qingyang and King Yenyang also reacted immediately. The 4 celestial kings had lived for hundreds of thousands of years and wished they had 9 orifices in their hearts. What King Jin and King Yunyu said was not the main reason. No one knew if the Patriarch of the Academy had divined Su Zimo's location. If the 4 of them went to the Warring States Kingdom and the Patriarch of the Academy had divined Su Zimo's location and went to kill Su Zimo, wouldn't he be able to take Qinglian's flesh and blood for himself? Thinking of this, the 4 celestial kings turned around and entered the palace of Qiankuan. Seeing the 4 celestial kings return, the Patriarch of the Academy seemed a little surprised and asked, "My friends, what is the meaning of this?" King Yunyu was expressionless as he repeated what he had just said and said, "After all, she is the traitorous disciple of the Academy. It is better for the Patriarch to step in." The Patriarch of the Academy did not seem to suspect him and nodded, "You are right. I should go with you." When King Yun and the other 3 saw how magnanimous the sect master of the Academy was, without any hesitation, the suspicions in their hearts lessened. "You can go now." Before leaving, the Patriarch of the Academy drove Gyue, Mushan, and the Moonlight Sword Immortal away and then sealed the palace of Qiankuan. The palace of Qiankuan disappeared in the clouds again. After the 6 celestial kings, the Patriarch of the Academy, the 8th elder of the Academy, and King Yunyu left the palace of Qiankuan, they tore the void and went to the Warring States Kingdom. After all, the Warring States Kingdom was in the Qingshao immortal realm. The 6 celestial kings could not directly lead the army of cultivators there and start a war. This move could easily cause the Azure Firmament Palace to interfere. The 6 of them went to the Warring States under the banner of killing the rebels. They could use peaceful means first and then use force to control the initiative. After the 6 great immortal kings left, Heaven and Earth Academy regained its peace. The Academy was as usual, and no one knew what had just happened in the depths of the Academy. No one knew that a moment ago, the disciple of the Patriarch of the Academy had become a traitor of the Academy. The Universe Palace, which was hidden in the clouds and sealed, should have been empty. However, not long after the 6 celestial kings left, in the depths of the Palace of Cosmos, 2 divine lights flashed in a cloud of rising immortal mist. A figure slowly stood up. His gaze was deep, flickering with boundless wisdom as he walked out of the immortal mist. Qing Shao Immortal Domain, Warring States Royal Palace. Lin Zhan's eyes were tightly shut. His aura was extremely chaotic. He frowned as if he was in some kind of predicament. Immortal King Ling Long stood quietly by the side, watching the man not far away with a worried look on her face. Suddenly, Lin Zhan's body shook. His originally chaotic aura gradually calmed down and surrounded him. His originally pale face gradually became rosy again. His breathing was long, and his condition was getting better and better. Immortal King Ling Long was overjoyed upon seeing this. Lin Zhan had forcefully descended to the lower world and was severely injured by the laws of heaven and earth. He had yet to recover. Even if he obtained the 9 Revolutions Yang Restoration Pill and the Worryless Fruit, they could only help Lin Zhan heal a small part of his injuries. They couldn't cure him completely. Now, Lin Zhan's condition was getting better and better. If he continued to cultivate, his injuries would be healed and he would return to his peak. After a while, Lin Zhan let out a sigh of relief and opened his eyes. "How is it?" Immortal King Ling Long hurriedly asked. Lin Zhan smiled and said, "The Yin-Yang Talisman scripture is indeed the #1 book in the upper world. I comprehended some insights from it. Even the injuries caused by the laws of heaven and earth have been mostly healed. It was very difficult to heal injuries caused by the laws of heaven and earth with external items. Only by comprehending the mysteries of the laws of heaven and earth could one heal injuries. And these mysteries were in the Yin-Yang Talisman scripture." Lin Zhan sighed and said, "Originally, I couldn't comprehend it so quickly. However, I just saw Zimo's 99 heavenly tribulations and compared it with the Yin-Yang Talisman scripture. The birth of the heavenly tribulation was a part of the laws of heaven and earth. Moreover, it was the peak of the heavenly tribulation, the 99 heavenly tribulation. Back then, Thunder Emperor Feng Cantian had comprehended the heavenly tribulation of Wu Dao's true body and stepped into the Grotto Heaven realm. This time, Human Emperor Lin Zhan had also comprehended the 99 heavenly tribulation of Qinglian's true body and compared it with the Yin-Yang Talisman scripture. Lin Zhan carefully sensed it and said, "Although I haven't recovered to my peak, it shouldn't be a problem for me to face a peerless immortal king. Even if I face a peak-stage immortal king, I can still fight against them." Immortal King Ling Long was also happy to see that Lin Zhan's strength had mostly recovered. This way, the crisis of the Warring States Kingdom could be alleviated by a lot. Immortal King Ling Long said, "Speaking of which, we still have to thank Zimo. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have the chance to read the Yin-Yang Talisman scripture and watch the 99 heavenly tribulations." Lin Zhan said, "If I had known this would happen, I would have let him stay in the Warring States Kingdom. If he really wants to return to the Heaven and Earth Academy, I can accompany him to meet the legendary patriarch of the Academy." Immortal King Ling Long rolled her eyes at Lin Zhan and said, "The patriarch of the Academy is the most mysterious person in the Heaven realm. How can he be so easy to deal with? Moreover, your injuries haven't healed yet." Lin Zhan seemed to have thought of something and suddenly asked, "By the way, you said that Zimo only returned to the Heaven and Earth Academy with his clone. If his clone is exposed, with the ability of the Patriarch of the Academy, will he be able to deduce the location of Zimo's true body?" "Don't worry." Immortal King Ling Long smiled and said, "Don't forget that Zimo also cultivates the Yin-Yang Talisman scripture. He can shield himself from the heavenly secrets and escape the deductions of the Patriarch of the Academy. The reason why his clone can deceive the heavens and pass off as the real one is because he cultivates the Yin-Yang Talisman scripture. Moreover, after Zimo left, I even specially cast a spell to erase all traces of him. Even if the Patriarch of the Academy controls the complete technique repository, he won't be able to deduce the location of Zimo's true body." Hearing Immortal King Ling Long's certainty, Lin Zhan was relieved. He said, "The upper world is vast and the sea of stars is boundless. I wonder where Zimo plans to go in the future." Immortal King Ling Long's expression changed. "I guess he might go to the Great Desolate Domain." "Yes." Lin Zhan's eyes lit up. He nodded and said, "Zimo has a benefactor in the Great Desolate Domain. Previously, he even asked about the blood butterfly demon emperor. Immortal King Ling Long pursed her lips and smiled. You still want to protect Zimo. If he goes to the great desolate domain, with that person around, who would dare to bully him? Not to mention the patriarch of the academy, even the imperial lords of the Nine Clouds immortal realm have to take a detour when they see that person. Chapter 2691. At this moment, Lin Zhan sensed something. He suddenly stood up and looked into the distance. Lin Zhan's gaze was cold. It was as if he could see through the endless void and landed on the 6 cultivators. His battle intent suddenly burst forth. What's going on? Immortal King Ling Long stood up and asked. Immortal King Ling Long was only at the initial stage of the Grotto Heaven realm and hadn't sensed the danger yet. Lin Zhan, who had mostly recovered from his injuries, had already sensed the existence of King Yunyu and the others. Guest is here. Lin Zhan said word by word. With a move, he directly disappeared from the palace. Immortal King Ling Long followed closely behind. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had already arrived outside the kingdom city. Lin Zhan stood in the air. His gaze was like lightning as he looked at the void above his head. Suddenly he shouted, "Come out!" Lin Zhan stretched out his huge hand that covered the sky and suddenly grabbed towards the void. Rumble! The void instantly collapsed and shattered. A huge hole was created by Lin Zhan's hand. 6 figures appeared inside and descended through this pitch-black hole. These 6 were the 6 immortal kings who had just left the Qianquan Academy. The patriarch of the academy, the 8th elder of the academy, King Yunyu, King Jin, immortal King Qingyang, and the flaming sun immortal king. Other than the 8th elder of the academy, the other 5 were all famous immortal king powerhouses in the heaven realm. They ruled over their own territories and ruled over a region. When immortal King Ling Long saw this, she instantly understood that Su Zimo had already broken ties with the Qianquan Academy. Moreover, Su Zimo's clone was destroyed, and the patriarch of the academy didn't get anything. That was why the sect master of the academy and the others had come here in a menacing manner. However, immortal King Ling Long didn't expect that there would be 6 immortal kings eyeing Su Zimo and wanting to devour him. Fortunately, Su Zimo broke through to the true self realm in the Kingdom of War and used his clone to return to the Qianquan Academy. If he returned to the Qianquan Academy to break through, the consequences would be unimaginable. It's you? Immortal King Ling Long immediately recognized the 8th elder of the academy. That day, when Su Zimo ascended, the celestial king expert who accompanied King Yun was this person. Lin Zhan stared at the patriarch of the academy and the rest with an unfriendly expression. He said coldly, "All of you are powerful figures in your own regions. What do you want to do by coming here together?" At this moment, the faces of King Secluded Cloud and the others turned ugly. Lin Zhan's injuries didn't seem to be as serious as the rumors said. This could be seen from his attack just now. Brother Lin's injuries seem to have healed? Prince Jin suddenly said with a probing heart. Lin Zhan glared at him and said, "Lord Jin, you are not fit to be my brother. I still haven't settled the score with you for killing my brother. Since you've come to my territory today, don't go back." Oomph. Monarch Jin's face also darkened. He said coldly, "Lin Zhan, let's put aside the grudges between us. We are here for other matters." King Yuyun said in a low voice, "Lord Jin, we are not here to be your enemy. We are here to capture a traitor from the Qianquan Academy." "This person? What traitor? What does that have to do with me?" Lin Zhan didn't wait for King Yuyun to finish speaking. He laughed coldly and interrupted him. Of course, Lin Zhan knew why this group of people was here. However, he didn't intend to give them a chance to speak. He said coldly, "King Yun, you are also here. I haven't settled the score with you for injuring Ling Long that day." Immortal King Ling Long's expression was serious. Today's battle wouldn't be easy. Among the 6 celestial kings, the patriarch of the academy, Prince Jin, and the Flaming Sun Celestial King were all peak-stage celestial kings at the Grotto Heaven realm. The remaining 8th elder of the academy, Green Sun Celestial King, and King Yuyun were all at the Grotto Heaven realm. Lin Zhan's injuries hadn't healed yet. Even if she was included, Her chances of winning against so many celestial kings were not high. Fight! Facing the 6 celestial kings, Lin Zhan's battle intent surged. His aura kept rising. With a loud shout, he took the initiative to attack. A bronze halberd suddenly appeared in his palm, and he slashed down at the 6 celestial kings. This halberd slashed down with a monstrous aura. It actually enveloped all 6 celestial kings. Lin Zhan had been seriously injured. He hadn't fought with anyone for too long. Now, although his injuries hadn't healed, the moment he attacked, he vented all the anger that he had accumulated over the years and erupted with shocking might. The Patriarch of the Academy, Prince Jin, King Yun, and the others had serious expressions. The Patriarch of the Academy and the 8th Elder of the Academy immediately retreated. The 8th Elder of the Academy touched his storage bag. Hundreds and thousands of Grotto Heaven Dharma treasures suddenly appeared beside him. It was a huge scene. The Dharma treasures of the entire Qiankuan Academy were all under the control of the 8th Elder of the Academy. What the 8th Elder of the Academy lacked the least was divine weapons. Sush, sush, sush. The 8th Elder of the Academy controlled many Dharma treasures and attacked Lin Zhan. Prince Jin took out his natal Grotto Heaven Dharma treasure. A 2-handed long saber with dark black light blocked Lin Zhan's bronze halberd. The Flaming Sun Immortal King didn't retreat either. His gaze was like a torch. A huge sword burning with raging flames appeared in front of him. It was crimson red as if it had been burned through by flames. Boiling magma flowed on it. Clang, clang. The long saber, the huge sword, and the bronze halberd collided, erupting with the sound of metal colliding. It was ear-piercing and unpleasant to hear, and sparks flew in all directions. The collision of the power from the top celestial kings instantly tore the surrounding void apart, causing countless cracks to appear. The huge power formed a terrifying wave of air that quickly spread in all directions. Immortal King Ling Long also joined the battle and faced the Patriarch of the Academy. She used the 9 palace subtle steps to delay the Patriarch of the Academy as much as possible. Among the 6 celestial kings, the most mysterious and most threatening one was the Academy Patriarch of the Academy. If she could delay the Academy Patriarch of the Academy, it would be equivalent to relieving the huge pressure on Lin Zhan. Boom, boom, boom. Powerful auras suddenly burst out from the royal palace of the War Kingdom. In the royal palace, the 7 celestial kings of the War Kingdom appeared. They rose into the air and rushed over. King Jin said coldly, "War King, if you use the power of the War Kingdom, don't blame us for gathering our subordinates and launching a large-scale attack to start a war. You guys can just watch from the side." Lin Zhan didn't let the other celestial kings of the War Kingdom step forward. In fact, ever since Lin Zhan was seriously injured, most of the celestial kings in the War Kingdom had left. The remaining 7 celestial kings were all at the small success stage of the Grotto Heaven realm. 5 of them were from the lower realm. Lin Zhan had either recognized their worth or saved their lives. This was why these celestial kings didn't abandon Lin Zhan and leave. Even if Lin Zhan didn't stop them, these celestial kings wouldn't be of much use in this battle. The difference between the small success stage of the Grotto Heaven realm and the large success stage of the Grotto Heaven realm was huge. The difference between the power of the perfected Grotto Heaven realm and the power of the perfected Grotto Heaven realm was like heaven and earth. If 7 celestial kings joined the battle, there would only be 7 more corpses. Moreover, it would give King Jin, King Yun, and the others an excuse to start a war against the War Kingdom. Chapter 2692. Withered Star. This ancient star was desolate and dead. There was no sign of life at all. It was extremely far away from the Heaven Realm and had already exceeded the territory of the Heaven Realm. Su Zimo stood on Withered Star and looked in the direction of the Heaven Realm. He could only see a blurry shadow. He had sensed the destruction of the primeval body immediately. In order to find out the person behind this, Su Zimo even gave up the Pure Jade book. Although the loss was not small, fortunately, he managed to protect Qinglian's true body. In a game that was supposed to be a dead end, he found a chance to survive and escaped. There were a total of 6 immortal kings, and they were all powerful existences. If he had not obtained the translation of the Yin-Yang Talisman scripture from immortal King Ling Long, he would not have been able to escape with the help of the pure jade book. Even Lin Zhan and immortal King Ling Long could not protect him. Thinking of this, Su Zimo felt a lingering fear in his heart. In fact, the whole process was a game between immortal King Ling Long and him, and the Academy Patriarch and the other 6 immortal kings. He was able to win this game in the end because of immortal King Ling Long. Although he was out of danger for the time being, Su Zimo's heart was still filled with confusion. The whole thing seemed to be shrouded in a layer of fog in some details. Logically speaking, the fewer people who knew about the secret of Qinglian's true body, the better. At that time, when he ascended, why did the Academy Patriarch send the 8th Elder of the Academy to follow King Yunyu? Could the Academy Patriarch absolutely trust the 8th Elder of the Academy? If the Flaming Sun Immortal King and the Azure Sun Immortal King saw through his Qinglian's true body, it was because he revealed a flaw. However, when King Jin found out about this, it was the Academy Patriarch who told him. When King Jin came to question him, with the wisdom of the Academy Patriarch, how could he simply tell him about this matter? One more person to divide Qinglian's true body? Also, after he killed Duke Yuanzhua and burned down Thunder City, why did the Academy Patriarch take the initiative to summon him and tell him about Qinglian's true body? This move would inadvertently alert the enemy. The Patriarch of the Academy should know that Qin Wenyan was acquainted with immortal King Ling Long, yet he had never stopped Qin Wenyan from meeting immortal King Ling Long. Could it be that the Patriarch of the Academy had never thought that Qin Wenyan would join forces with immortal King Ling Long? Or, Su Zimo's heart trembled as he suddenly thought of a terrifying possibility. His eyes flickered and his face became gloomier. After a while, Su Zimo suddenly took out the upper realm map from his storage bag and prepared to leave this place. Where are you going? At this moment, a familiar voice sounded from nearby. Su Zimo didn't even turn around to look, but he already knew who it was. The void cracked open, and a figure walked out from within, calm and confident. The newcomer had a deep gaze and a broad forehead. There was a faint smile on his face as he calmly looked at Su Zimo. The Patriarch of the Academy. You did something to my body? Su Zimo turned around slowly and looked at the Patriarch of the Academy who was not far away, asking with narrowed eyes. He had comprehended something from the Yin-Yang Talisman Sutra. Under normal circumstances, he could already hide from the heavenly secrets and the Patriarch of the Academy would not be able to deduce his location. Furthermore, immortal King Ling Long helped him erase all traces. There was only one possibility for the Patriarch of the Academy to be able to find this place so accurately right away. The Patriarch of the Academy must have done something to his body. The Patriarch of the Academy smiled and said, "You're a smart person to be able to figure it out right away." Su Zimo released his spirit consciousness and checked his body carefully, but he still could not find any traces. Nice. Su Zimo glared at the Patriarch of the Academy and said coldly. All of a sudden, Su Zimo felt a sharp pain from his essence spirit and his consciousness blurred. He grunted and his expression changed slightly. Fufu. The Patriarch of the Academy chuckled and shook his head gently. My dear disciple, you shouldn't have tried to kill me. That's a grave crime of murdering one's master. Su Zimo took a deep breath of air and looked within himself once more. He saw a series of green threads coiling around Qinglian's essence spirit in his consciousness. Even though the creation lotus platform spewed out thousands of rays of light, it could not wash away the green threads. He was way too familiar with that power. Curse. Su Zimo's expression turned terrible. His essence spirit was cursed by someone and he did not even notice it. The power of the curse was something that even the rank 12 creation Qinglian could not remove. It was definitely a top-tier curse. You know of such a top-tier curse technique? Su Zimo glared at the Patriarch of the Academy and asked coldly, Are you from the witch race? Su Zimo asked the Patriarch of the Academy to stall for time while secretly releasing his Dao techniques. In his consciousness, Qinglian's essence spirit chanted the Perfection of Wisdom Nirvana Sutra continuously, wanting to make use of the power of that taboo mystic sutra for spirit refinement to break free from the entanglement of the curse. The patriarch of the academy smiled in the face of Su Zimo's question and did not reply. However, there was a hint of disdain in his eyes. Don't waste your effort. The patriarch of the academy seemed to have seen through Su Zimo's intentions and said indifferently, even immortal kings and emperor lords won't be able to break free from the master-killing curse, let alone you. The master-killing curse. Su Zimo's heart skipped a beat. The power of the Tao techniques contained in the master-killing curse was irresistible. The moment one wanted to kill their master, the master-killing curse would be awakened. It was not easy to plant the master-killing curse. The most important prerequisite was that both parties had to be master and disciple. The patriarch of the academy said indifferently, "You chose this path yourself and I planted the master-killing curse on you. If you were willing to listen to me, the curse would not have been triggered. It's a pity that you disobeyed your superiors and even wanted to kill your master." Su Zimo said coldly, "If you want to kill me, we are no longer master and disciple." The patriarch of the academy smiled faintly and said, "A master for a day is a father for life. This is the shackles of the master-killing curse. You can't break free from it." Looking at the confident patriarch of the academy, Su Zimo's killing intent surged. However, the stronger his killing intent, the more ferocious the power of the master-killing curse was. More and more green threads appeared on Qinglian's essence spirit and coiled around it continuously. Su Zimo felt a sharp pain in his mind as he trembled uncontrollably. "When did you plant the curse?" Su Zimo endured the pain and asked with gritted teeth. "You didn't expect it?" The patriarch of the academy asked instead. Su Zimo recalled the entire process from the moment he joined Qiankuan Academy until now. He did not meet the patriarch of the academy many times, and the only time they met alone was in the Qiankuan palace. However, Su Zimo was already prepared at that time, and the patriarch of the academy should not have had the chance to make a move. All of a sudden, Su Zimo's heart skipped a beat when he recalled the scene of him condensing the 10th step of the Tao Heart Ladder and being taken in as an in-name disciple by the patriarch of the academy. At that time, all the elders and disciples of the academy were present. There was no way the patriarch of the academy could make a move in front of everyone. However, the patriarch of the academy gave him a gift for becoming his disciple. That teleportation jade badge. Su Zimo said slowly. Chapter 2693. That's right. The academy patriarch nodded slightly, and a look of satisfaction flashed past his eyes. "If you don't have Qinglian's bloodline, you are indeed suitable to inherit my legacy." The master murdering curse was planted on that teleportation jade token. During the Immortal Peach Banquet in the Jade Cloud Celestial Domain, Su Zimo used the teleportation jade token to escape with Momo and returned to the Qiankuan Academy. When the teleportation jade token shattered, the power of the master murdering curse also acted on Su Zimo at the same time. The Academy Patriarch had calculated everything. The teleportation jade token was the last life-saving means. When Su Zimo shattered the teleportation jade token, he must have faced a huge life and death crisis. At such a juncture, Su Zimo's attention would definitely not be on the teleportation jade token. Therefore, the master murdering curse could hide from Su Zimo's senses and be planted on him silently. "So, with this curse, you can sense my location?" Su Zimo asked. "Of course." The Academy Patriarch said, "You are under my surveillance at all times, except when you went to the Avicii Hell. However, I know that you have the prison suppressing cauldron with you. Even if you are in the Avicii Hell, you will not be in any danger. So, you already knew that the one who returned to the Qiankuan Academy was not my Qinglian's true body?" Su Zimo asked again. At the mention of this, the Academy Patriarch smiled with some disdain and shook his head. "In my opinion, your tricks are too weak." At this moment, Su Zimo had gradually calmed down. He suddenly thought of something and said, "My clone was destroyed. Yun Yu King and the others also saw it. You came to chase me. Aren't you afraid that the mantis stalks the cicada, the oriole behind? They want to be the oriole? They are still not strong enough." The Academy Patriarch smiled and said, "At this moment, they are joining forces to attack the War Kingdom and fighting with Lin Zhan and Immortal King Ling Long. They have no time to spare. Su Zimo's expression changed. The reason why he chose to leave the war country was because he didn't want to implicate the human emperor and immortal king Ling Long. Who would have thought that the two of them would still be dragged into this mess? The patriarch of the academy seemed to have seen through Su Zimo's worries. He waved his hand slightly and said, "Don't worry. Lin Zhan's injuries have recovered by more than half. King Yunyu and the others won't be able to suppress Lin Zhan for a while." Su Zimo's heart calmed down a little, but he still could not accept it. He said, "Yunyu Wang and these people are under your control to attack the warring state's kingdom without any suspicion?" "Of course." The patriarch of the academy smiled and said, "Because I was with them in the warring states." Su Zimo was stunned. The patriarch of the academy's words seemed to have revealed an important message. He was unable to react for a moment. The patriarch of the academy looked at Su Zimo and shook his head slightly. He said, "You, immortal King Ling Long, and Yunyu Wang, all of you are playing a game with me. But in my eyes, you are not qualified at all. Because, from the beginning to the end, the entire chess game was set up by me. All of you are just my chess pieces. As chess pieces, you have to have the awareness of being chess pieces. How can chess pieces compete with the person who set up the game?" The patriarch of the academy's tone revealed a strong sense of confidence. This was a feeling of being in control of the entire situation and being high and mighty. The patriarch of the academy had this ability and enjoyed this feeling very much. He was high and mighty, looking at the chess pieces in the chess game that he had set up. Under his control, each of the chess pieces moved with exquisite footwork. He only smiled knowingly. "Let's start from the beginning." The patriarch of the academy smiled faintly and said, "Yunyu Wang came to me and asked me to deduce the time and location of your ascension. Then, Yunyu Wang tried to kill you, and immortal King Ling Long appeared. You have already met immortal King Ling Long. You should know that she received a letter." Su Zimo nodded and said, "That letter should be written by you." "That's right." The patriarch of the academy said, "The creation of Qinglian is a very important matter. It involves ancient secret texts such as the Yin and Yang rune scripture. Not many people in the upper realm know the potential of Qinglian. Immortal King Ling Long and I are two of them. Of course, I won't allow Yunyu Wang to refine you into a pill when you have just reached the 9th grade. That would be a waste of God's gift. Besides, I don't want to share the creation of Qinglian with others." Su Zimo understood. That was why the patriarch of the academy sent immortal King Ling Long a secret letter and asked her to do it. The patriarch of the academy said, "You must be wondering why the person who went to kill you with Yunyu Wang was the 8th elder of the academy." Su Zimo remained silent. This matter was indeed one of his puzzles. Since the patriarch of the academy didn't want to share the creation of Qinglian with others, why did he send the 8th elder of the academy and Yunyu Wang? Unless the 8th elder of the academy and the patriarch of the academy, Su Zimo suddenly thought of a possibility. There was an explanation for the many puzzles that lingered in his mind. "The 8th elder of the academy is your doppelganger." Su Zimo blurted out. "You are indeed very smart." The patriarch of the academy praised again and added, "To be precise, the real 8th elder of the academy has already died. The current 8th elder of the academy is my doppelganger." Su Zimo thought of another matter and said, "At that time, the Pure Jade booklet hadn't appeared yet. The Supreme Purity Jade booklet was in the hands of Qin Su, the Crown Prince. As for who got the Supreme Purity Jade booklet, it has always been a secret. Now it seems that the Supreme Purity Jade booklet is in your hands." The patriarch of the academy had a look of approval and gestured for Su Zimo to continue. Su Zimo said, "You obtained the inheritance of the art repository of divination. With the help of the Supreme Purity Jade booklet, the doppelganger condensed can naturally deceive everyone. The 8th elder of the academy is in charge of the divine weapons and dharma treasures of the academy. The doppelganger condensed by the Supreme Purity Jade booklet is the body of a numinous treasure and is most suitable to replace it." "Very good." Hearing this, the patriarch of the academy clapped his hands and laughed, praising. In this way, another matter was instantly clear. At that time, during the immortal sect selection, the painting deity Mo Qing was entrusted by the 8th elder of the academy to arrive in time. He was still a little puzzled as to what role the 8th elder of the academy played in this. Now it seemed that from the beginning to the end, the patriarch of the academy was the one behind the scenes. He used the doppelganger of the 8th elder of the academy to hide himself perfectly. All of a sudden, Su Zimo recalled another matter and stared at the patriarch of the academy who was not far away. He asked slowly, during the Nine Clouds convention, Shinsu was killed by Araki Takashi of the demon region and his supreme purity jade booklet fell into the hands of the Eternal Night Immortal King. When the Eternal Night Immortal King tore through the void and wanted to escape, he was suddenly assassinated and the supreme purity jade booklet was nowhere to be found. If I'm not wrong, you're the one who assassinated the Eternal Night Immortal King. The supreme purity jade booklet should be in your hands right now. That's right. The patriarch of the academy had a calm expression and had no intention of hiding anything. Everything was within his control. Before long, Su Zimo would be a dead man as well. Chapter 2694. The Academy Patriarch smiled. Originally, I didn't have a good chance to obtain the pure jade books. However, the appearance of Desolate Marshal of the Fiend region and the commotion at the Nine Heavens convention, coupled with the sudden awakening of the Divine Tree Builder, gave me an opportunity. Su Zimo recalled the situation at the Nine Heavens convention. It was a complete mess. The celestial kings from the Nine Heavens celestial realm and the pure land of bliss were focused on the martial Tao body and the divine tree. That was why the sect leader of the College of the Nine Heavens celestial realm and the divine tree. The Academy Patriarch's schemes were indeed terrifying. Now, the 3 pure jade books were all in his hands. More importantly, the Academy Patriarch had almost perfectly hidden himself. He did not expose this matter and would not be targeted. If anyone knew that the 3 pure jade books were in the hands of the Academy Patriarch, even the Emperor would be tempted. The Yunyu King and the others only knew that the Academy Patriarch had obtained the pure jade books. The Academy Patriarch's every step was extremely careful and could be said to be perfect. Although the Academy Patriarch did not say it explicitly, Su Zimo guessed that the Academy Patriarch had hidden himself and secretly used the 8th Elder to set up everything because he was afraid of Daiyu. The Academy Patriarch was sure that the Yunyu King's clone in Tianhuang mainland was destroyed by Daiyu. The Academy Patriarch was worried that Daiyu would take revenge, which was why he was so cautious. And now, the Academy Patriarch had finally appeared. Naturally, he had confirmed that he had control of the entire situation and killed all variables. The Academy Patriarch had set up such a big plan not only for the 3 pure jade books. Su Zimo knew that he had no chance in the current situation. It was not only because of the huge difference in strength between the two sides, but also because he felt helpless in front of the Academy Patriarch. Everything about him could not escape the Academy Patriarch's schemes. Moreover, his primordial spirit was entangled by the master-killing curse. Even if he was lucky enough to escape, the Academy Patriarch would be able to sense his location no matter where he fled to. And he could not break the master-killing curse at all. This was a dead end. There might be other variables in the process, but it was hard to change his ending. It was also because of this that the Patriarch of the Academy revealed his true colors and was even willing to reveal all his schemes. In truth, the Immortal Sect's general election has been planned for many years. The Patriarch of the Academy said, "I arranged for Yang Ruoxu to preside over the selection of the Immortal Sects just to wait for you." Su Zimo said, "You know Senior Brother Yang's character. You know that he won't give in easily if he is pressured by someone powerful." So, although a series of changes occurred during the Immortal Sect general election, everything was within your expectations. Not bad. The Patriarch of the Academy nodded and said, "All these arrangements are to dispel your wariness and make you think that it was just a coincidence that you joined the Academy." Su Zimo was silent as a chill rose in his heart. Not only could the Patriarch of the Academy calculate the heavenly secrets, he also had an extremely accurate grasp of people's hearts. In order to control all the variables of the Immortal Sect general election, Not only did he have to know Yang Ruoxu like the back of his hand, he also had to know Commandery Prince Yuanzhua, Zither Immortal Meng Yao, Painting Immortal Mo Qing, and even the other heavenly immortals who presided over the selection. The Patriarch of the Academy knew everyone's reaction, bottom line, strength, and choice clearly. His control of people's hearts had reached a terrifying level. Su Zimo thought of something else and asked with a frown, "Since you wanted to dispel my wariness, why did you summon me later and reveal Qinglian's true identity?" No matter how he looked at it, this matter seemed superfluous and even suspected of alerting the enemy. Ha! The Patriarch of the Academy laughed at the mention of this matter and said, "Don't you understand? At that time, I was alerting the enemy and reminding you to be prepared to escape." Su Zimo's heart skipped a beat. The Patriarch of the Academy continued, "When you joined the Academy, of course, I didn't intend to disturb you at first. However, you were too outstanding and took the first place of the Earth ranking and Heaven ranking. I couldn't suppress you even if I wanted to. Even if I blocked the news of the 10th step of the Tao Heart Ladder, some people still found out about it and naturally noticed you. Then Yunyu King, Flaming Sun Deity King, and Green Sun Deity King discovered your bloodline of Qinglian and naturally wanted to have a share of it. When King Jin came to find me, I took advantage of the situation and didn't hide it. Since they wanted to join in, I let them. However, if they want to take advantage of me, they are still far from being able to do so." Su Zimo finally understood the Patriarch of the Academy's plan. From the beginning to the end, the Patriarch of the Academy didn't intend to share his Qinglian's real body with others. However, because Qinglian's real body was exposed, the Patriarch of the Academy changed his plan and let Yunyu King and the others join in. Then he revealed Su Zimo's real body of Qinglian. The Patriarch of the Academy had never stopped him from participating in the Continent of the Nine Clouds meeting, nor did he stop him from meeting Ling Long. Because all of this was the intention of the Patriarch of the Academy. The sect master of the Academy wanted Su Zimo and Immortal King Ling Long to work together and use the Jade Purity Book to devise a plan to escape the surveillance of the secluded Cloud King and the others. The Patriarch of the Academy had the guidance of the Master-Killing Curse and could find him at any time. However, Yunyu King and the others couldn't get a single drop of Qinglian's bloodline. The Patriarch of the Academy had expected what had happened in the Palace of Heaven and Earth. The Patriarch of the Academy had been playing along with him all along. Then, the Patriarch of the Academy made use of his clone to lure Yunyu King and the others to attack the Battle Kingdom and restrain Lin Zhan and Ling Long. As for his true body, he sought out the withered Su Zimo. This plan not only included Yunyu King and the other 3 celestial kings, but it also involved Lin Zhan and Ling Long. Su Zimo suddenly thought of an even scarier guess. For the suzerain of the Academy to come up with such a plan, he might not only be after the 3 Pristine's Jade Booklet and his Green Lotus real body. Hee. The Patriarch of the Academy's eyes were deep and shining brightly as if he had seen through the thought that flashed through Su Zimo's mind. He chuckled and asked leisurely, "Looking at your expression, you have already guessed it?" Su Zimo clenched his fists and looked cold. "That's right." The Patriarch of the Academy nodded slightly and said, "Since Immortal King Ling Long is involved, I won't let her leave so easily." As expected, Su Zimo's heart sank. The Patriarch of the Academy was still plotting against Immortal King Ling Long and the other inheritance of the Forbidden Technique Repository, the 6th Divine Lesson. If the Patriarch of the Academy obtained the Yin-Yang Talisman Scripture and the 6th Divine Lesson, it would be equivalent to controlling the complete Technique Repository. Su Zimo took a deep breath and said in a low voice, "The War God and Immortal King Ling Long are both in the Battle Kingdom, and the War God's injuries have mostly recovered. It won't be that easy for you to get the 6th Divine Lesson." "Not necessarily." The Patriarch of the Academy looked at Su Zimo and said with a faint smile, "You are the bait." Su Zimo shuddered. Chapter 2695. The Academy Patriarch smiled and said, "When the time is right, I will reveal a flaw. With Ling Long's meticulousness, she will definitely notice it. Believe me, she will chase after me. When that time comes, Lin Zhan will be entangled by King Yunyu and the others. Who can save her? Looking at the smiling patriarch of the academy, Su Zimo only felt a chill down his spine. Just as the academy patriarch of the academy had said at the beginning, they were all chess pieces. The academy patriarch of the academy was the person who set up the entire game. As a chess piece, how could they compete with the person who set up the game? He was a chess piece. King Yunyu, King Qingyang, and the others were also chess pieces. Even immortal King Ling Long was not spared. According to the Academy Patriarch's plan, when this game ended, not only would the Academy Patriarch of the Academy obtain the 12th grade creation Qinglian, but he would also obtain 2 complete Forbidden Secret Manuals. The 3 Pure Jade books and the Technique Repository. Just 1 Forbidden Secret Manual was enough to make a powerful emperor and even have a chance to become a Araki Takashi from the Demon Domain is nothing to be afraid of. Manuals, the patriarch of the Academy patriarch of the Academy reach in the future. Everyone is really within my calculations. Zimo was not only the Academy patriarch of the Academy glanced but also at the voice beside him and said indifferently, he could set up a game and involve everyone in it. It's time to show them to be at his mercy. He could even calculate all the variables. There was someone else besides the two variables. Just as today, even if Su Zimo died on Withering Star, the two of them no one would know. Split open. Others would only think that he had already betrayed the Qiankuan Academy and hidden himself. His whereabouts when he saw this person. The Academy patriarch of the Academy would be in the dark and become the biggest winner. You have calculated all the heavenly secrets, just like when he obtained the Prime Clarity Jade books back Elder Xian was expressionless. No one knew that the Prime Clarity Jade books had fallen into his hands. Worthy of being called. Is there anything else that you can't calculate? You flatter me. Su Zimo asked coldly. The patriarch of the Academy smiled faintly. The Academy patriarch of the Academy suddenly sighed and said, "Everything is within my calculations. My appearance was also within your calculations." The patriarch of the Academy suddenly thought of something. The patriarch of the Academy smiled and said, "You should have known long ago. There is indeed Elder Xian nodded and said, "I can't calculate it, and I still have some doubts." Went to the Avicii Great Hell, Demon Domain's deduced a divination in front of me. What's his relationship with you? It was an ominous sign. The patriarch of the Academy about this child's safety and asked. That was why I went to the Avicii Great Hell. Too strong. I did not expect to encounter an peerless monk guarding the tomb on the continent of the Nine Clouds and be severely injured. And the existence of Wu Dao's original body was an anomaly. Su Zimo's heart skipped a beat. The patriarch of the Academy could not deduce any trace of Elder Xian mentioned. Even if the patriarch of the Academy racked his brains, he would never be able to guess that the real body of severely injured by the original body of Wu Dao were the same person when he followed him. The reason why Yunju was able to discover the relationship between the two was because there was a ominous divination to hint me to go to the Grand Highway Mountain. Hearing the patriarch of the Academy's question, terrifying expert on the Grand Highway Mountain. Before the patriarch of the Academy smiled and said, "I did not expect that you would be able to return alive from the hands of that suffocation. Actually, it turns out that there are things divination that I deduced was you." Su Zimo sneered. Su Zimo listened attentively at the body was his biggest secret. This was the first time he heard of this matter. He would not tell the patriarch of the Academy's words. However, he seemed to know the background of the old monk guarding the tomb. Wu Dao's original body had fallen into the dry well in the Avicii Great Hell. It seemed he did not know whether Xian truly wanted to protect him in the Qiankuan Academy. He still could not sense Wu Dao's original body schemed against by the patriarch of the Academy and had been severely injured. Of the Academy was Elder not Xian angry. Shook his head slightly with a calm expression. He said, "Person only glanced at me and my grotto heaven get his information if from your primordial spirit. Wanted to kill me, I would not have been able to escape." Elder Xian looked at the patriarch of the Academy with a complicated expression and said, "Actually, when Su Zimo condensed the 10th step of the Tao Heart Ladder and you appeared to accept him as your personal disciple, I vaguely felt that something was wrong." The patriarch of the Academy smiled and said, "That was why you argued with me and did not want Su Zimo to immediately become my disciple." "That's right." Elder Xian said, "You took a step back and accepted him as an in-name disciple. When he cultivated to the true first stage, he could choose on his own. I did not expect that you still did something to the teleportation jade token." Su Zimo was secretly shocked. He did not expect that the game between Elder Xian and the patriarch of the Academy had already begun. Furthermore, Elder Xian's appearance was also within the patriarch of the Academy's expectations. Elder Xian was also involved in this game of chess. The patriarch of the Academy's scheme might not only be Qinglian's true body, the 3 Pure Jade booklet and the art repository. He wanted to obtain more things. It's time to stop. Elder Xian looked at the patriarch of the academy and sighed again. The patriarch of the academy was expressionless and gradually withdrew his smile. You want to stop me with just you? A look of disdain flashed across the patriarch of the academy's eyes as he asked. Chapter 2696. Elder Xian's expression was solemn as he asked, "What exactly do you want? Do you think this isn't enough?" Of course not. The Academy Patriarch said, "I will let the Qiankuan Academy replace the Divine Firmament Palace and unify the Divine Firmament Celestial Realm. In the future, I will unify the 9 clouds." Elder Xian's expression was calm when he heard this. He didn't seem surprised. Even if you unify the 9 clouds, I'm afraid you won't stop. You will definitely find an opportunity to flatten the Pure Land of Bliss and the Demon Domain and make the Celestial Realm under your control. Elder Xian looked at the Academy Patriarch and sighed softly. How ambitious! Su Zimo was secretly shocked. Although the Qiankuan Academy was a heaven-grade faction, there were many heaven-grade factions in the entire 9 clouds celestial realm. The Qiankuan Academy was nothing. Not to mention unifying the celestial realm, it would be extremely difficult for the Qiankuan Academy to replace the Divine Firmament Palace. What's wrong? The Academy Patriarch said that chaos is very likely to descend in this era. Only by unifying the celestial realm can we survive this chaos. That's just an excuse. Elder Xian shook his head and said, "You just want to take advantage of the chaos to become the lord of the celestial realm." That chaos? Su Zimo's heart skipped a beat. Was the chaos that the Academy Patriarch mentioned the one that the book fairy Yunzhu had mentioned to him before, the one that swept through the 3,000 worlds? And this chaos was very likely to involve a terrifying existence that spanned 10 eras. The Demon Master. Elder Xian continued, "Even the Lord of the Celestial Realm might not be able to satisfy your ambition. If you have the chance, you might even want to become the Lord of the 10 Realms or the Lord of 100 Realms." The Academy Patriarch smiled faintly and didn't refute. It was as if he had tacitly agreed. Elder Xian sighed and said, "Master knows your ability and gave you the evaluation of flawless planning. However, he also knows that your ambition is too great. Don't mention that old thing to me." The Academy Patriarch suddenly interrupted Elder Xian. He frowned slightly and shouted impatiently. Su Zimo was a little surprised. The Patriarch of the Academy had always been emotionally stable and full of wisdom, as if he had seen through everything in the world and was omniscient and omnipotent. At this moment, the Academy Patriarch had lost his composure and was extremely disrespectful towards him and Elder Xian's master. Elder Xian said, "You shouldn't be like this. He's not only our master, but also your father." "Father?" The Patriarch of the Academy sneered, "Is he worthy?" Su Zimo was even more confused. The Patriarch of the Academy seemed to hold a great grudge against his master, who was also his father. Elder Xian said, "Your mother was in the witch world at that time. Back then, Master had already done his best to save you. Master couldn't do anything about your mother's death." Su Zimo was speechless. He had just guessed that the Patriarch of the Academy might be a member of the Sorcerer tribe. Now, it seemed that he was only half right. To be precise, this Patriarch of the Academy had a part of the Sorcerer tribe's blood flowing in his veins. "Why did you save me? To monitor me all the time?" The Patriarch of the Academy's tone was cold as he said slowly, "That old thing has never treated me as his own. He has always treated me as an outsider and has always been wary of me." "What are you talking about?" Elder Xian had a complicated expression as he said in a deep voice, "Master has never married and only has you as his child." Chapter 2697. The Academy Patriarch smiled and said, "His Qinglian's flesh and blood is the most important thing in my game. How can I let it go?" The Academy Patriarch looked at Su Zimo and said, "From what I know, this ancient star is called Withering Star. Su Zimo, this is your fate. Your grade 12 Qinglian's body is destined to wither here. Die!" Hearing the Academy Patriarch's words, Su Zimo lowered his eyes. A trace of madness flashed across his eyes as he roared. He suddenly tore a talisman in his hand and threw it towards the Academy Patriarch. He had never given up. Even if there was no hope and no chance, he would not give up. Just now, when the Academy Patriarch and Elder Xian were talking, Su Zimo was not idle. He tried his best to restrain his hostility and murderous intent towards the Academy Patriarch. In his consciousness, the lotus platform of creation spewed out streaks of green light. At the same time, the Nirvana Sutra of the first taboo of spirit refinement was also circulating. In his consciousness, the illusory figures of various Buddhas appeared. They put their palms together and chanted sacred Sanskrit to resist the power of the master-murdering curse. However, no matter what he did, the green threads on Qinglian's primordial spirit did not decrease. Of course, as he retracted his hostility and murderous intent, the green threads did not increase again. Just as the Academy Patriarch said, Su Zimo's power was not enough to remove the master-murdering curse. However, Qinglian's body had transformed into a grade 12. The light spewing out of the lotus platform of creation had also become purer and more powerful. Under the support of the green light and sacred Sanskrit chants, Qinglian's primordial spirit had a chance to breathe. As long as there was a chance, it would be enough. Su Zimo had long been prepared to fight to the death. In the Jade Pure Secret Realm, he had also obtained a talisman that could kill immortal kings and targeted the primordial spirit. It was the Great Purity Purple Cloud Talisman. With Su Zimo's primordial spirit, even if he could release this Great Purity Purple Cloud Talisman, his primordial spirit would not be able to withstand it. Moreover, once he attacked the Academy Patriarch, the power of the master-murdering curse would be completely unleashed. It would be enough to kill him. His ending was already decided. What Su Zimo wanted to do was to kill the sect master of the Academy before he died. Just now, the Patriarch of the Immortal King's heart was the primordial spirit. Was the primordial spirit, the Patriarch? The primordial spirit was the Immortal King. Primordial spirit Immortal King was attacked the Academy Patriarch Immortal? This was Su Zimo burning his life force like a moth darting into a flame. "Zimo!" Elder Xian exclaimed. He also knew that Su Zimo had been hit by the master-murdering curse. Once he attacked the Academy Patriarch, Su Zimo would die without a doubt. "Heh," the Academy Patriarch chuckled, not bothered at all. Su Zimo's primordial spirit was entangled and destroyed by the master-murdering curse, but it did not affect him much. What he wanted was the flesh and blood of Su Zimo's rank 12 creation Qinglian. It was a pity that he could not obtain information about Araki Takashi from Su Zimo's primordial spirit. The great purity purple cloud talisman shattered, and a purple light flashed before disappearing. In the next moment, the purple light appeared in the Academy Patriarch's consciousness. Heh, the Academy Patriarch chuckled as if he did not care. The Academy Patriarch could naturally tell the origin of this talisman. That divine talisman targeted the primordial spirit. Not only could it kill immortal kings, it could even severely injure emperors. He did not know why Su Zimo had the great purity purple cloud talisman. However, that was one of the variables. Furthermore, that variable was completely within his expectations. Suddenly, a scarlet jade booklet appeared above the primordial spirit of the Academy Patriarch in his consciousness. The Great Purity Jade Booklet. Of the 3 pure jade booklets, the pure jade booklet cultivated the body while the Great Purity Jade Booklet cultivated the primordial spirit. At that moment, the Great Purity Jade Booklet hovered above the primordial spirit of the Academy Patriarch and unfurled rapidly. Every single word on the jade booklet emitted a resplendent divine light that fought against the descending purple light. The fight between the primordial spirits was silent. The Great Purity Jade Booklet was not only a secret sutra, it was also a defensive primordial spirit dharma treasure. With the help of the Great Purity Jade Booklet, the Academy Patriarch defended against the power of the Great Purity Purple Cloud Talisman almost perfectly. Is that all you've got? The Academy Patriarch looked at Su Zimo and asked with a fake smile. When he saw that the Academy Patriarch was unharmed and that the smile on his face did not disappear, Su Zimo's face turned pale and he was devastated. Even the Great Purity Purple Cloud Talisman could not hurt the Academy Patriarch. When Su Zimo released the Great Purity Purple Cloud Talisman, Qinglian's primordial spirit was already on the brink of collapse. If not for the fact that the grade 12 creation Qinglian spewed out green light continuously, she would not have been able to hold on. Furthermore, the power of the master-slaying curse was completely released and seeped into Qinglian's primordial spirit. Su Zimo's life force was decreasing continuously. If it was an ordinary body with a bloodline, they would have died the moment they released the Great Purity Purple Cloud Talisman. Su Zimo was barely holding on with the immense life force of the grade 12 creation Qinglian. However, he could not hold on for much longer. At the same time, old Xian attacked. "Senior brother, take a look at who this is." Elder Xian took out a scroll from his storage bag all of a sudden and tore it into pieces, before uttering a roar. After the painting was torn apart, an old man appeared. His grayish-white hair was combed neatly and his eyes were as bright as the stars. There was an endless mic between his brows. When he saw the old man, the Academy Patriarch was slightly stunned. "Unfilial son, turn back." The gray-haired old man glared at the Academy Patriarch and shouted. The Academy Patriarch snapped back to his senses quickly and said slowly, "Old thing, is this the method you left for my senior brother to keep me in check? It's just a painting of a condensed Tao technique. Even if you come back from the dead, I can still destroy you today." Mystic 9 Escape Technique. The Academy Patriarch shouted softly. "Heaven escape." As he said that, a tremendous power surged from the skies and surged into the Academy Patriarch's body. That secret technique seemed to be able to draw power from the skies. "Earth escape." The Academy Patriarch spoke once more. Beneath his feet, a ball of dazzling light burst forth, enveloping him within. His aura skyrocketed once again, rising rapidly. Human escape. Wind escape. Cloud escape. Dragon escape. Tiger escape. Divine escape. Ghostly escape. The Academy Patriarch released 9 secret skills in succession. The aura on his body became extremely complicated. Su Zimo could clearly sense that the Academy Patriarch's movement technique increased exponentially in the wind escape. He was even more agile like the wind. After releasing Cloud Escape, his figure was like a cloud that could change at will and was unpredictable. The Dragon Escape secret skill. The aura of dragons surged from the Academy Patriarch's body as he let out a loud dragon roar. After releasing Divine Escape, the Academy Patriarch's body shone with a bedazzling golden light. The final ghostly escape caused the Academy Patriarch to become even more sinister as he moved and phantoms overlapped. Open the door, Rest Gate, Life Gate, Pain Gate, Limit Gate, View Gate, Death Gate, View Gate. 8 gates, open. The Patriarch's eyes shone brightly as he released another secret technique. Huge gates suddenly appeared in his grotto heaven, emitting a terrifying power that caused the power of his grotto heaven to skyrocket. This was the art repository's Chimin Duanjia. 8 huge gates appeared, and the gray-haired elder could not resist them. He was trapped in the 8 gates and was crushed by the terrifying power that gushed out, disappearing into nothingness. Normally speaking, if the Patriarch of the Academy only had a grotto heaven, the Patriarch summoned by the painting would be able to suppress him. However, the Patriarch of the Academy had calculated everything. Elder Xian realized that the Patriarch of the Academy had grown to a level that he could not match. Now, he could only choose to escape. Just as the gray-haired elder and the Patriarch of the Academy were fighting, Elder Xian borrowed the remaining power from their fight to appear beside Su Zimo in a flash. "Let's go!" Elder Xian roared and pulled Su Zimo's arm. He tore through the void and prepared to enter the space tunnel to escape this place. Elder Xian could tell that Su Zimo did not have long to live. However, no matter what, whether Su Zimo had other opportunities or not, he had to bring Su Zimo away. Even if Su Zimo died, he could not leave Qinglian, a 12th grade creation, to the Patriarch of the Academy. The Patriarch of the Academy looked at the 2 fleeing people with a trace of mockery in his eyes. He chased after them unhurriedly. At the same time, in the sky above the kingdom of the 4 kingdoms, the battle between the 6 immortal kings and immortal King Lin Zhan and immortal King Ling Long was still ongoing. Both sides had already summoned their respective grotto heavens, and it was hard to tell who had the upper hand. Immortal King Ling Long suddenly felt that something was wrong. The Patriarch of the Academy opposite her seemed to be much weaker than she had imagined. Normally speaking, the Patriarch of the Academy had not only accepted the inheritance of the Academy, but also cultivated the art repository's Chimin Duanjia. In the art of Chimin Duanjia, there was not only the art of divination, but also an extremely powerful combat art. And from the beginning to the end, the Patriarch of the Academy had not used it. On the contrary, the Patriarch of the Academy had been dodging since the beginning of the battle. He deliberately avoided the battle, as if he was hiding something. Immortal King Ling Long stared at the Patriarch of the Academy without blinking. Under her gaze, the Patriarch of the Academy seemed to be a little guilty and avoided her gaze. "He is not the Patriarch of the Academy." Immortal King Ling Long immediately made a judgment. How wise was the Patriarch of the Academy? How strong was his temperament? His Tao heart was unshakable. How could he avoid someone's gaze at all? If the person in front of her was not the Patriarch of the Academy, then where was the real Patriarch of the Academy? Oh no! Immortal King Ling Long was shocked. Normally speaking, she had already erased the traces left behind by Su Zimo and would not be discovered by others. However, her opponent was the Patriarch of the Academy after all. The only possibility that Immortal King Ling Long could think of was that the real Patriarch of the Academy had already gone to hunt down Su Zimo. In fact, Immortal King Ling Long's speculation was indeed correct. However, her speculation, her reaction, and even her subsequent actions were all within the Patriarch of the Academy's expectations. Zimo is in danger. Immortal King Ling Long transmitted her voice to Lin Zhan with her divine consciousness. "You go and save him. I'll hold them back." Lin Zhan transmitted his voice. "If you can't win, don't be entangled with them. Bring Zimo back here. Even if I have to risk my life, I will protect him." Immortal King Ling Long hesitated for a moment, but she still made a decision. Her figure flickered, and she instantly left the battlefield and fled into the distance. Chapter 2699. Withered Star. He watched as Elder Xian dragged Su Zimo, who was barely breathing, into the space tunnel. The void had already closed, but the sect master of the academy remained calm. He only lifted his palm and slapped the void space in front of him. Crack. A huge force suddenly descended and shattered the spatial tunnel that Elder Xian and Su Zimo had escaped through. The two of them fell out of void space and landed on Withered Star. You're too naive to think that you can escape from me. The Academy Patriarch strolled over. He looked calm, and there was even a look of mockery in his eyes. Elder Xian had just been injured by the Academy Patriarch. Now he was shaken again. He spat out a mouthful of blood and looked dispirited. Not to mention escaping, right now, even he himself could not stand still. Sigh. Elder Xian's eyes dimmed as he sighed in his heart. Elder Xian looked at Su Zimo and revealed a look of pity. He was already in his old age. Even if he died, he had lived for hundreds of thousands of years. However, Su Zimo was too young. It was too regretful for him to die like this. Su Zimo didn't do anything wrong. He just had Qinglian's bloodline and was unfortunately targeted by the Academy Patriarch. Even Elder Xian couldn't escape the Academy Patriarch's scheme. How could Su Zimo resist the Academy Patriarch? I wanted to take you in as my disciple. However, it's a pity that we aren't fated to be in this life. At this moment, Elder Xian had mixed feelings. Countless thoughts flashed through his mind. Finally, he laughed and said, "That's good too. You and I can accompany Acheron on the way. At least we won't be lonely." Elder Xian was prepared to die. However, Su Zimo didn't give up. Since his death couldn't be avoided, he had to do his best to drag the Academy Patriarch into the abyss. The Patriarch of the Academy reached out and grabbed Su Zimo's forehead. He planned to imprison Su Zimo's primordial spirit first. While Su Zimo was still alive, he would try to search his soul to find some useful information. Su Zimo remained expressionless as he silently activated his eye technique. His right eye suddenly shot out a beam of dazzling light toward the Patriarch of the Academy. The distance between them was extremely short, and the eye technique was launched instantaneously. It was hard for the Patriarch of the Academy to dodge. To be precise, the Patriarch of the Academy had no intention of dodging. When this eye technique landed in his eyes, it was like a stone ox falling into the sea, disappearing without a trace, without even the slightest ripple. The Patriarch of the Academy paused. His eyes had also cultivated an extremely powerful eye technique. Moreover, there was a huge gap between their cultivation levels. That was why he wasn't afraid of Su Zimo's eye technique attack. The eye technique did not injure him. However, the Patriarch of the Academy did not expect that he would still feel a scorching pain in his eyes. "Very good, you've actually made me feel a trace of pain." The Patriarch of the Academy arrived before Su Zimo and smiled gently. "I'll remove your eyes for you first." As he said that, the Patriarch of the Academy extended 2 fingers and stabbed towards Su Zimo's eyes. However, the moment the Patriarch of the Academy's fingers made contact with Su Zimo's eyes, they did not manage to pierce through. It was as though they had touched something extremely hard. Immediately after, the Patriarch of the Academy's expression changed starkly. A pitch-black drop of ink seemed to seep out of Su Zimo's left eye and spread rapidly, devouring him. The Patriarch of the Academy's palm was devoured by the darkness before long. He didn't even feel the slightest bit of pain, and there wasn't even the slightest bit of blood. However, his palm had already vanished. The cold darkness continued to spread up his wrist and devour his arm. The Patriarch of the Academy wanted to retreat. However, his feet seemed to be stuck in a quagmire and he could not move. As for himself, he felt as though he was falling into a bottomless dark abyss and could not escape no matter how he struggled. Finally, a trace of panic flashed through the eyes of the Patriarch of the Academy. This was Su Zimo's counterattack. The illumination eye earlier on was only for the scene before his eyes. Back then, when Su Zimo entered the Emperor's tomb to retrieve the 7 Dawn Immortal Ginseng, he was devoured by a strange power of darkness and almost died. Thankfully, the fluorescent stone in his left eye absorbed the power of darkness continuously and he managed to survive. Eventually, he regrown his flesh with the help of the 7 Dawn Immortal Ginseng. As such, the terrifying power of darkness was sealed within the fluorescent stone. Up till now, Even though he had already stepped into the true self realm and Qinglian's true body had grown to grade 12, Su Zimo was still unable to activate the power of darkness within the fluorescent stone. Since he could not activate it, he could only rely on the power of the Patriarch of the Academy. Now, seeing the panic in the eyes of the Patriarch of the Academy, Su Zimo's lips twitched and he smiled happily. The Patriarch of the Academy had divined all the heavenly secrets, fate, human hearts, and karma. However, there were still things that he could not predict. The Patriarch of the Academy quickly calmed down and snorted coldly. He activated the 8 huge doors in the grotto heaven behind him and charged towards the darkness ahead. Beams of light shot out from the 8 doors, trying to dispel the darkness. However, the light was completely devoured by the darkness. Even the 8 doors condensed by the Patriarch of the Academy could not withstand the power of darkness and were on the verge of collapse. Emperor Realm. The sect master of the Academy gritted his teeth and spat out 2 words. Only the pure power of the world released by the Emperor Realm would have such a huge impact on his grotto heaven and the 8 doors. This was not even at the quasi-emperor level, but the true power of the Emperor Realm. The Patriarch of the Academy could not be blamed for not being able to predict this. Not to mention a perfected immortal, even the body of an immortal king could not seal such a power of the Emperor Realm. If such a power of the Emperor Realm surged into the body of an immortal king, he would die immediately. The Patriarch of the Academy would never have thought that such a terrifying power of the Emperor Realm would be sealed in Su Zimo's eyes. Of course, the Patriarch of the Academy used the power of his grotto heaven and the 8 doors to get a chance to breathe and quickly broke free from the darkness. After all, without the control of an emperor, this power of darkness could not be unleashed to its true power. Even so, the Patriarch of the Academy still paid a huge price. One of his palms had been completely swallowed by the darkness and disappeared. This power of darkness still remained on his wrist and could not be removed immediately. Naturally, his palm could not be restored. Kakik. When Elder Xian saw this scene, he laughed heartily. Both Elder Xian and Su Zimo knew that they could not escape death today. However, they were in a good mood to see the Patriarch of the Academy in such a sorry state before they died. They had finally won a round. The Patriarch of the Academy smiled coldly and said, "Don't be so happy. When this darkness dissipates, the 2 of you will still die." The power of darkness sealed in the glowing stones was limited. After being triggered by the Patriarch of the Academy and being released continuously, it would soon be exhausted. The Patriarch of the Academy said plainly, "However, you seem to have forgotten something. Half of the blood of the sorcerer tribe flows in my body, and I know the best incantations of the sorcerer tribe. The curse of the Emperor's tomb can't threaten me." Hearing this, Su Zimo's heart sank. He was only a step away from the Emperor's tomb. Facing the strong devouring force of the Emperor's tomb, he could not resist it in his current condition. He could only let the Emperor's tomb devour him. Meanwhile, on the other side of the withering star, the rift cracked open as a figure sprang out. Immortal Emperor Ling Long had arrived. As soon as she showed up, she saw the Patriarch of the Academy chasing after Su Zimo toward the Emperor's tomb. This, immortal Emperor Ling Long was still some distance away from the Emperor's tomb. Even if she wanted to stop them, she would not make it in time. Su Zimo caught a glimpse of immortal Emperor Ling Long's figure from the corner of his eyes. Before entering the Emperor's tomb, he took a deep breath and used the last of his strength to remind her, "Senior, leave now, be careful." Before Su Zimo could finish, he was devoured by the entrance of the Emperor's tomb. Immortal Emperor Ling Long was smart, and she was good at deducing. She soon figured out a lot of things when she saw the scene. It was obvious that Su Zimo was reminding her to be careful because of the Patriarch of the Academy. However, there was only one thing that attracted the attention of the Patriarch of the Academy. It was the other chapter of the martial scriptures, the 6th sacred lesson. In other words, it was very likely that the Patriarch of the Academy had purposely led her here. Immortal Emperor Ling Long briefly sensed her surroundings. It was obvious that a huge battle had just taken place on the Withering Star. Among the remaining force, there was the aura of the martial monarch realm. Could it be? Immortal Emperor Ling Long's heart skipped a beat. On the other hand, the Patriarch of the Academy also noticed Immortal Emperor Ling Long's appearance. However, he did not hesitate. He decided to capture Su Zimo first. Compared to the sixth sacred lesson of Immortal Emperor Ling Long, Su Zimo's true body of the 12th grade Qinglian was obviously more important. Not only the flesh of the 12th grade Qinglian, but the treasures it produced and the yin-yang talisman scriptures. The scriptures alone were more precious than the sixth sacred lesson of Immortal Emperor Ling Long. As for the sixth sacred lesson of Immortal Emperor Ling Long, he would have other opportunities in the future. Thinking of this, the Patriarch of the Academy did not stop. He continued to rush toward the martial monarch tomb, ready to capture Su Zimo. However, just as he arrived at the entrance of the martial monarch tomb, a huge divine sense pressure was suddenly emitted from inside. It was as if the sky had enveloped him. He could not resist it at all. The Patriarch of the Academy was shocked. He quickly released all of his divine sense to resist it. Bang! However, he was still suppressed by the terrifying divine sense pressure. He crashed heavily into the withering star, creating a huge pit. A trace of blood flowed from the corner of his mouth. The martial monarch realm. This was the divine sense power of the martial monarch realm. The Patriarch of the Academy struggled to stand up from the withering star. He looked at the martial monarch tomb above his head. His eyes flickered and he looked shocked. How could it be? There were indeed martial monarchs buried in the martial monarch tomb. However, how could the martial monarch realm divine sense pressure descend? Moreover, the divine sense pressure just now was definitely not from the martial monarch of the sorcerer tribe. Could there be other martial monarchs who could resist the power of the curse of the martial monarch tomb and enter the martial monarch tomb first? The Patriarch of the Academy looked terrible. The appearance of the martial monarch tomb was too sudden. It was completely out of his expectations. It would be fine if it was just a martial monarch tomb. However, what was with the terrifying divine sense in the martial monarch tomb? Immortal Emperor Ling Long's heart sank when she saw this. Su Zimo entering the martial monarch tomb was already a dead end. The only thing that was worth celebrating was that the Patriarch of the Academy had put in a lot of effort to set up such a shocking chess game. However, he still missed a variable and failed to capture the 12th grade Qinglian. Chapter 2701. Immortal King Ling Long did not stay any longer. She left decisively while the Academy Patriarch's attention was still on the Emperor's tomb. After Su Zimo entered the Emperor's tomb, it gradually disappeared into the sea of stars. The Academy Patriarch looked in the direction where the Emperor's tomb disappeared with a gloomy face. He had completely lost track of Su Zimo. Su Zimo would definitely not be able to break the master-murdering curse. Moreover, this kid was definitely going to die. However, that tomb was filled with powerful curses. Su Zimo was surrounded by these curses, so much so that the master-murdering curse's aura was covered. Moreover, even if he could sense Su Zimo's location, so what? This emperor's tomb had obviously undergone some unknown changes. Now, even if he was allowed to enter, with his cautious personality, he might not rush in rashly. The Academy Patriarch's heart was filled with a strong sense of unwillingness. This plan, this setup, had taken 10,000 years. It could be said to be flawless, taking everyone into consideration. The development of the situation had always been under his control. Once he succeeded, he would obtain an unimaginable great harvest. More importantly, all of this was done quietly. Those who knew his trump card would be killed by him in this game of chess. Who would have thought that at the last moment, an unforeseen event would occur, causing the entire chessboard to be overturned? The most important 12th grade creation Qinglian did not obtain the most important 12th grade creation, and even the few treasures derived from it, including the yin-yang talisman scripture, were not obtained. There was also Immortal King Ling Long's 6th divine lesson. Now, he was first injured by the dark power of the Emperor realm sealed in Su Zimo's left eye, and then attacked by the powerful pressure in the Emperor's tomb. It was no longer suitable for him to make a move, and he could only let Immortal King Ling Long escape back to the War Kingdom. Although he got rid of Elder Xian was not an important chess piece in this game of chess. He had cultivated to the boundary emperor realm, and he could get rid of Elder Xian at any time. No matter how the sect master of the academy thought about it, he only managed to obtain a single jade purity booklet. Fortunately, all 3 jade books were in his hands. The patriarch of the academy released his divine awareness and began to patrol the withered stars. After a long time, they still couldn't find any trace of Elder Xian. Not dead? Did he escape? The patriarch of the academy frowned. Elder Xian was no longer a threat to him. After being severely injured by his quasi-emperor level strength, even if he did not die, he would not be able to hold on for long. There is still a mess on the warring state side. The patriarch of the academy tore open the void and left. Qing Shao Immortal Domain, Warring State's Royal City. Immortal King Ling Long teleported back from the Withering Star and landed on the battlefield. Looking at King Yunyu and the others who were still fighting, she sneered and said, "King Yunyu, you have been tricked by the patriarch of the academy. You are still fighting here." At this moment, the patriarch of the academy and the 8th elder of the academy withdrew from the battlefield at the same time. "What did you say?" King Yunyu and the others were already wary of the patriarch of the academy. After hearing Immortal King Ling Long's words, they stopped fighting and shouted softly. Immortal King Ling Long sneered and said, "The patriarch of the academy allowed you to fight here. His real body has already gone to chase after Su Zimo." King Yunyu, King Jin, and the others were also smart people. They reacted immediately and turned to look at the patriarch of the academy beside them. At this moment, the patriarch of the academy's real body also returned from the Withering Star and landed on the battlefield. There is indeed a misunderstanding here. The patriarch of the academy looked calm. He looked at King Yunyu and the others and did not avoid their gazes. At this moment, it was no longer realistic to instigate King Yunyu and the others to fight with Lin Zhan. What was in front of him was to get rid of the suspicion as soon as possible. The patriarch of the academy said, "I deduced this person's location and realized that he wanted to escape from the heaven realm. I did not have time to inform everyone and could only kill him first. I didn't expect that the Archtomb would suddenly appear. This person directly rushed into the Archtomb. I can't do anything about it." These words were both true and false. Most importantly, the patriarch of the academy had completely removed himself from this. When Lin Zhan heard this, he was shocked and angry. He subconsciously looked at Immortal King Ling Long, wanting to confirm the truth of this matter. Immortal King Ling Long had a plan. She originally wanted to annoy the patriarch of the academy. She would say that the patriarch of the academy had already obtained the 12th grade creation Qinglian. Next, King Yunyu and the others would definitely target the patriarch of the academy and not let him go. Unexpectedly, the patriarch of the academy seemed to have already guessed the situation that she might face. After saying this, he cast a spell in front of everyone. He touched his glabella lightly and a scene appeared in midair. This was a scene in the patriarch of the academy's memory. This scene only lasted for a few breaths. However, from the perspective of the patriarch of the academy, one could clearly see the scene of Su Zimo being swallowed by the Archtomb. There was nothing better than this method to prove oneself, because this scene came from the patriarch of the academy's memory. The patriarch of the academy's move was really amazing. This was equivalent to searching one's soul in reverse. Everyone present was a top-notch immortal king, but no one dared to try this. King Yunyu and the others originally had some resentment towards the patriarch of the academy. At this moment, they all frowned and looked at the patriarch of the academy with some fear. Lin Zhan stared at the patriarch of the academy with killing intent. He naturally understood that if the patriarch of the academy hadn't forced him, why would Su Zimo seek death and rush into the Archtomb? Lin Zhan was prepared to step forward and kill the patriarch of the academy to take revenge for Su Zimo. "Don't go." Immortal King Ling Long noticed Lin Zhan's actions and hurriedly sent a voice transmission to remind him. At the same time, Immortal King Ling Long's figure moved and came to Lin Zhan's side. She looked at him deeply and shook her head slightly. Immortal King Ling Long's expression was strange, and her tone was nervous. These days, the cold spring prison seemed to have regained its former glory and was extraordinarily lively. The 8 great Hell Masters unanimously chose to go to the cold spring prison. Firstly, it was to discuss the matter of the cold spring prison. Secondly, and most importantly, it was to elect a new Lord of Hell. In other words, to the 8 great Hell Masters, the matter of the cold spring prison was just a small matter. However, the 8 great Hell could use this matter to reunite the Infernal Court and elect a new Lord of Hell to rule over the Infernal Court. In fact, over the years, many powerhouses of Hell had thought of this idea. It was just that there was no suitable opportunity. But now, the appearance of Wu Dao's true body made many powerhouses of Hell overjoyed. In this way, the selection of a new Lord of Hell, the unification of the 9 Hells, and the killing of the foreign beings became logical. Cold Spring City. In addition to the 8 great Hell Masters, countless powerhouses of the other Hells also came here, but the Cold Spring Palace was a little crowded, so they could only move this unprecedented event to the Cold Spring City. In the center of the Cold Spring City, a huge black altar was built. There were 9 positions on the altar, representing the 9 great Hell Masters. Other than the empty seat of the Cold Spring Prison, the other 8 great Hell Masters were already sitting around the altar. Behind each of them stood countless powerhouses of Hell, and at the front were the Hell Kings and Hell Kings. The entire Black Spring City was densely packed with Earth Prison's creatures, forming a dense black mass. Everyone. Hell Master Cold Spring was a withered old man with gray hair. At this moment he slowly opened his mouth and said, "In the past few days, you have proposed many countermeasures, but no one is convinced as to who will be the Lord of Hell. In the end, only someone strong enough can become the Lord of Hell and rule the Infernal Court." Hellmaster Acheron said in a deep voice. Another white-haired old man waved his hand and said with a wry smile, "You guys go ahead and fight. I'm already so old, so I won't get involved." This was Hell Master Bitter Spring. Although the Bitter Spring Prison Master was old, no one had been able to shake his position in the Bitter Spring Prison for many years. From this, one could see how powerful he was. "If you ask me, the 8 of us should go to the Cold Spring Prison now," Hell Master Bitter Spring said in a deep voice. Hell Overlord Zhong Quan said in a deep voice, "Whoever can kill that creature will be the Hell Overlord of this generation." The Lord of Nether Spring Prison cackled and said, "Any one of the 8 of us can slay the alien creature. This method is not fair at all." "That's not necessarily true." Hell Master Nether Spring said, "I heard that Hell Master Cold Spring was killed by this person in a direct confrontation. The entire Cold Spring Palace's power could not defeat him. No matter how he dodged, he could not escape from the range of Wu Dao's true body's plow heaven stride. Wu Dao's true body stomped down and the body of Hell Master Nether Spring exploded instantly. The 1,000-legged centipede's body broke into 2 and a large amount of stinky blood spewed out. The 2 parts of the body twisted continuously on the altar. The Hell Master Nether Spring let out an ear-piercing wail of agony. Prior to this, Hell Master Nether Spring was still holding back. However, at this moment he was severely injured and his life was hanging by a thread. He no longer dared to hold back and released his bloodline phenomenon directly. A large pool of surging spring water appeared below him. Some corpses could be vaguely seen in it as it rushed towards Wu Dao. Bloodline phenomenon, Hell Spring. On the other side, Hell Master Acheron, Hell Master Nether Spring, and Hell Master Nether Spring did not dare to hesitate when they saw this scene. They released their bloodline phenomenons one after another. Hell Acheron, Hell Master Nether Spring, Hell Master Nether Spring, and Hell Spring. The 4 great springs appeared at the same time. For a moment, the Fengdu altar was filled with spring water that surged into the sky and spread everywhere. It was as if it formed a huge torrent that wanted to devour and drown everything. Only living beings of the Netherworld race could awaken such a bloodline phenomenon. And living beings who could become a Hell Master were all existences who had cultivated their bloodline phenomenons to the extreme. Every bloodline phenomenon exuded a certain Dao technique of the Hell Spring water. That was also the foundation of Hell. When the 4 great Hell Spring water phenomenons were released, Many of the living beings of hell thought that the battle was over. No living being could survive the impact of the 4 hell spring water phenomenons. Rumble. At this moment, a deafening roar suddenly came from Wu Dao's body. Immediately after, Wu Dao's body seemed to have disappeared and was replaced by a huge furnace that was burning red. Inside and outside the furnace, raging flames were burning, emitting scorching heat. What a joke! He actually released a fire-type bloodline phenomenon under the hell spring water phenomenon. He's really asking for humiliation. Fire and water were incompatible. The 9 hell springs belonged to the water-type phenomena, and the phenomenon condensed by Wu Dao's body was obviously a fire-type phenomenon. In the hearts of all the living beings of hell, the 9 hell springs were their holy springs. There was no flame that could compete with them. The clamor of discussion below had just started, but it quickly faded and finally returned to silence. Under the gaze of countless living beings of hell, the blazing furnace that was surrounded by the 4 great hell springs showed no signs of extinguishing at all. On the contrary, the flames inside were getting stronger and stronger. The temperature on the altar was also getting higher and higher.